Hey everyone, welcome back to another options portfolio update video on the channel. The options portfolio is currently sitting at $510.82, down $227 for the day or 0.44%. For the week, we are down just 6 cents or 0.01%. And for the month, which is essentially the all-time, we are up $10.82 or 2.16% so far in this small portfolio. So let's go over the craziness that actually unfolded this week. So if you actually look on the daily chart, you can see this portfolio had some crazy volatility. You see we shot down almost 10% at one point. In fact, I'm surprised we didn't hit that. Almost down 10% at around 11 a.m. this morning, and we bounced back all the way up to actually being green by over 1% for the week, $8.38, and then back down to essentially being, like I said, just completely flat for the week overall, but on a crazy ride. And I just kind of want to cover everything there, as well as this 4-option strategy here on SPY, which we are currently up $2 or 3.39% on. But yeah, let's get straight into it. So as you guys might have seen, and actually let me pull this up real quick. So as you may have seen, I made a post about 8 hours ago regarding an iron condor I opened yesterday, and the market actually gapped down overnight due to some geopolitical tension stuff, which caused it to drop, by the time it opened over 1%, which absolutely exploded these iron condors that I opened. You can see in this screenshot, it was already below my lower bound, my lower strike of 560. So this thing absolutely smashed through the iron condor, and that caused this huge initial drop. You can see we went as low, like I said, of 462, which is crazy. So I got absolutely destroyed, and I was kind of worried about this trade because I really didn't expect the market to gap down by 1% overnight, because I opened a super short term, essentially next day expiration iron condor, which is me experimenting with some really short DTE contract plays just to kind of see how those worked out, because I was kind of interested. As you guys know, this is more of a sandbox account, an experimenting account. So I was going to try and make a video on short term iron condors and how those worked out. So I had opened this singular short-term iron condor yesterday, and like I said, the market gapped down over 1% overnight. So when it opened, we basically got smacked. We got tanked. So what I ended up doing to recover this is I actually closed that play, and I ended up opening more iron condors for the same day expiry, which sounds crazy, and I agree, it is pretty crazy, but it ended up working out in our favor. As like I showed you, I came completely back to break even by the end of the day, and at one point, had Robinhood not early executed or early closed my iron condor positions, we were at about 518. We would have been at about 524 had those condors not been manually closed out by Robinhood. Hey guys, just going to interrupt real quick. If you are not subscribed and you're currently watching this video, that's 81% of you listening to my voice right now. Please consider subscribing. I do 2 portfolio update videos a week, and I'm also adding on some nice little educational sort of talky bits about both investing and also now options trading. So if you're not subscribed and you're in that 81% that are hearing me talk about you right now, I'm talking breaking the fourth wall here. I'm talking through the screen. If I'm talking to you right now, please consider subscribing. It's much appreciated, and it also helps us build a nice little community of traders who are interested in both options and long-term investing. So if that's you, please consider subscribing. But anyways, let's go back to the video. I'll go into the history here, but I essentially had, and there you can see the manual closure. You can see I actually got filled at a very bad price on my condors that expired today. This one's reasonable, 1 cent per contract spread on the call side. And then, but unfortunately the put side of the iron condor got closed out for 2 cents per spread, which is a little bit ridiculous because at that point it was like 330. These spreads should have been completely worthless. I would have been fine with closing out at 2 cents, but 1 cent, but 2 cents was a little extreme, so we missed out on probably $4 that should have been in the account. Unfortunately, due to Robinhood's automatic closing. I was thinking they were far out of the money enough that it wouldn't automatically close them on me, but it still did, so it's whatever. So we did end up sadly losing about $4 on that spread there by Robinhood, which sucks, but regardless, you can see here, I'll show you. Let's see. Trying to see where I closed that initial, I believe it's this play here, $67. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure. So I opened this trade for, I think it was 17 cents. I ended up closing for 67 cents per iron condor. There's 1 iron condor. And then later, it's kind of hard to follow this history here, but I ended up selling an iron condor. I sold a couple. Might have been this actually. So you can see here, I sold 3 iron condors today at around 10:34 a.m. So right about here. 10:34 a.m., which on SPY it looked like, let's see here, And once again, here's that gap down. You can see we opened down over 1%. 1034 right around here, down about 1%. Continued to trail down another 0.42%, which is a pretty big move for SPY intraday, especially opening down 1% already. But regardless, it moved another 0.5% against me even after I opened these condors, but they still were super far out of the money. Even though they were 1 DTE, or I guess 0 DTE in that case. And then I ended up actually, let's see here. This is really hard to follow on the history. But let's see, yeah, I opened a fourth one. So I opened 3 for an average credit of 16, and I opened a fourth one for an average credit of 11, it looks like. And then all of these ended up getting closed out for 12 bucks. So all in all, we collected $59 in credit and closed out for 12. So overall, about $47 in gains on those short iron condors, the 0 DTE iron condors. And that was able to carry us out of the trenches, carry us out of the depths all the way back up to being break even. And then this play was a play I opened, I believe, Monday night, or actually it might have been last Friday, I think. I opened this play in preparation for this week. I was kind of trying to play volatility here by doing a long iron condor, essentially, a straddle, because we had Powell speaking on Monday and then a ton of corporate earnings this and next week. So I ended up opening this play expiring next Friday as a way of trying to capture some of that volatility, and also on top of volatility, just sharp moves in either direction, which it's working out all right. It was up more earlier today, as you can see, 64. And this was actually down for the longest time last week. I opened this for $59 and it's currently worth 61. So we'll take it, and hopefully this play works out in the long run. But yeah, no, so really interesting day here, because at one point I was really was not looking good for me. I really thought I was going to end the day down like 10%, and that would be the challenge. Really kind of messed up straight from the beginning because it was down 40 bucks. And this is a great lesson on why not to trade options, because I lost 10% in a matter of minutes. And this is the main reason I have this little experimental bubble account that's shunned away from my main. Like I'm pull up my main account here real quick. You can see this is the main account, down almost 200 for the day. Pretty brutal. But with this much of a NAV, were I to have made these same plays, I mean 10% on this account is like 1,200 bucks. That would be ridiculous to lose, right? And that's why I ended up moving away from options, because the stress and the anxiety from trading such a large amount with such volatile options can really be crazy for you. So this is a really good example on why not to trade 0 DTE or even low DTE options, or more so spreads. So like over leveraging. If I was just selling puts, 0 DTE would be fine if I was looking for ownership. But with things that are leveraged like spreads or just naked options, this is kind of crazy. But yeah, no, it is still really interesting though, because the intraday iron condors I opened were pretty much profitable the whole day, and they were really far out of the money. They were like 0.5% in each direction. In fact, more than that, almost 1% in each direction, and it was 0 DTE, and that was actually really quite a good deal, I thought, at least, because SPY was already down 1% at open. So the fact that I had another % of leeway in each direction on a 0 DTE iron condor was pretty surprising, and I actually did like that trade. So I may try experimenting with that again tomorrow. We'll see. Once again, it's super risky. Don't do that on your own account. You're kind of just asking your portfolio to blow up, but I'm just trying stuff out on here. So I'm probably going to look into doing another 0 DTE iron condor on SPY tomorrow, or something along those lines later this week, because it is interesting to see. But yeah, and I think the lesson I learned is, if you're going to do short-term options like that, I would probably, it depends on the DTE. The 1 DTE iron condor, holding overnight, the overnight risk was not great. I think if I was going to do that, I should have just done a 0 DTE at market open, so I could position my strikes better, because I think holding overnight, like I said, you get risk of those geopolitical things causing a huge explosion in the market like they did today. Which it's really ironic that on the day I happened to open a 1 DTE iron condor, world politics suddenly decide to implode. So that's kind of hilarious. But aside from that, at least at the end of the day, we ended flat, and hoping to hopefully pull out a gain for this next week. And it was looking like I would have, had Robinhood not screwed me over with that early close. Would have been up another % or 2 on the account, which is already still doing good. 2% in 2 weeks is not bad by any means. But yeah, so that is the happenings of this week. Pretty crazy stuff. And also let me know down in the comments if you want to see any specific types of options trade or whatever it is. then yeah, please drop it below if you want me to experiment with anything in particular, or you have any questions that you want me to cover. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.